To be very honest, in the beginning, when I heard some of my friends asking me every single day, how are you holding up? How are you holding up? And I'm like, why are they asking me the same thing? You cannot ask me every day. How am I holding up? I mean, I'm holding up fine. It's not like I'm crumbling. I'm doing good. At the end of the day, we were two people. It is a couple. We are, husband and wife, and we together decided that this was what was best. But yes, it was definitely the most difficult, the most, like I said, the lowest phase in my life. The one thing I can never understand is a woman's age. What is the obsession with a woman's age? I mean, what is it? I mean, at 45, why can't I live the life that I want? A woman getting divorced is always like, oh my God, how can she? A woman having a relationship, oh, how can she? A woman at a certain age working and dressing at a certain way, oh, how can she? So the woman is always judged by the length of her skirt or the plunge of her neckline, So, I mean, hemlines and necklines, are, make all the choice. I mean, make all those comments and decisions at the end of the day.
I remember around 4.5 years ago, at an eatery somewhere in Bandra, I met this one woman when I was going through possibly one of the most emotionally distraught times in my life. She comforted me, consoled me, and told me that the future is going to be brighter. Today I have somebody who has shied away from labels, never conformed to the norms, and made a rule book of her own. Welcoming Malaika Arora in conversation with me on Limelight Lab Grown Diamonds presents her story only on Bollywood Bubble. Thank you so much, Malla.
Thank you, my dear.
You know what you mean to me. I just can't put it in words. And it is true that there was a time when I was going through possibly one of the most emotionally distraught times, especially professionally. And you had been there like a pillar of strength and support. You've been there for all your friends like that. I will start off with what I wanted to speak to you about, When you are there for all your friends and you are the person everybody goes to, and then suddenly you have a time where you are emotionally distraught. How do you deal with it? Like, it's easy for me to handle other people, but I can't handle myself. Is it the same with you?
Well, I have a two-process way of dealing with things. Of course, I have a touch wood, by the grace of God, I have a really strong support system.
Yes.
Whether it's friends and family around me, and some of my friends have been my friends like
for years.
So they know me, better than probably I know myself. We kind of complete each other's sentences, so it's like that. But and they have heard me out, they've sat, they've spoken, so all of that. So that's never ever been an issue. I've always been able to reach out to them, and they've always been there. The other process that I have is dealing with stuff on my own. Yes. I'm a true blue Scorpion.
You're very guarded.
I'm very guarded. I don't open up and have feel the need to say everything that there is. So I do have my very own filtration process, which I have figured out for myself. So I go through that, and at the same time, I kind of figure things out. I understand. I procrastinate. I spend time with myself, and and then I'm fine. I'm not somebody who will dwell and dwell. I'm not like that. I am somebody who I need to figure things out soon enough. I cannot prolong a process, because I feel all of that then kind of leads to a lot more trauma, pain, etc. So whatever it is, I need to deal with it then. So yes, so like I said, that's my two-step process. I have friends, and then I process it on my own, and then I figure things out, and I come up with my
solution. But that's what makes you. I think you come up with solutions for yourself and for others as well, and your solutions are always the best.
I don't know about that. I've been told I'm very good with. I'm a great listener.
Absolutely.
And I'm a love guru of sorts. So I'm self-appointed. So I'm fine with that.
But Malla, I read your post a few days ago when you posted on National Yoga Day, how yoga helped you come to terms and also deal with a lot of emotionally distraught times, like you said. You had written only in one line that I went there and I started bawling. What actually happened at that very minute?
Well, I guess there must have been various instances that must have made me reach that point.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a instance.
Absolutely.
So whether it could have been emotionally, physically, mentally, professionally, it could have been any one of them, and we've all had to deal with our various ups and downs. So I somehow genuinely feel a good cry always helps. I really do feel that. I mean, people think it's a little overrated, but for me, it's very cathartic. I think it eases me up. So yes, it must have, like I said, I mean, I don't exactly recall what exactly was said in that, but yes, I did. I put it up because I felt, I felt the year was such where I dealt with a lot of personal, physical issues. So that's probably why I said what I said. And then I guess it just came to a point where in my personal space where I felt I needed clarity and I needed happiness. And that was that. I was very, like I said, I was very clear. These were my two things that I needed to come to terms with. One was clarity and one was happiness. And I said nothing and no one can compromise that.
Absolutely.
Except myself,
It is non-negotiable.
Yeah, it's just non-negotiable, certain things in life. And like I said, a good cry always helps. Always does.
But Malaika, when we talk about, there are very strong voices today who are addressing mental health issues and awareness. While we are definitely making rapid strides on that front, where I've only seen majorly women coming out and addressing it. The entire pandemic, I had anxiety issues related to my parents' death, like parents' health and stuff. And sorry, I will take that again.
Please take that.
Related to my parents' health, and it was very traumatic. Like traumatic to the point that now there are days when I wake up, like I know that I've cried in my sleep, and it's been that kind of a situation. But not many people address that. You did that, even in that post, and not just that. You actually like you being you. You've given a solution to that also. That you had yoga as means of taking you out of that messy situation. How did that help?
And I'm sure what you dealt with, thousands of and millions of people around the world were dealing with similar situations. There was so much of anxiety with people, whether it was separation in terms of being away from loved ones,
absolutely,
not being able to hold on to work, not being financially stable. Because I don't think anybody prepared for something like this. I think at the end of the day, we all live for the moment, for the day.
Absolutely.
It's very important. And I think the pandemic also taught people that you have to think long term about a lot of things in life. I am one of those people. I'm always planning, for the future, for ahead. I always need to safeguard myself. But that's it's my personality. So like you said, a lot of people were dealing with various things at various levels. Mental health being one of a major issue and a major topic that needed to be addressed.
Yeah.
And in fact, through Sarva Yoga, we did lots of mental health programs. We had a lot of one-on-one sessions. We had our app had various people talking about mental health, and like you said, a lot of women come forward to address topics like this, because I think women are engineered like that. Not that men aren't, but I think we're way more sensitive, way more emotional, way more empathetic. Having said, I'm not saying men aren't.
Women are a little more.
It's just that we are engineered a certain way. I mean, that's in our DNA.
Yeah.
So you can't help that. You can't change that. So yes, women do talk about it. A lot of men feel talking about issues like this are frivolous. Who's going to talk about it?
And it makes them less of a man.
Maybe it's not manly enough to be. I mean, I think it really needs a very strong man or a very sorted man in some way to be able to deal with issues like this. So now whether that could be conditioning or whatever. So yes, women do come forward. Women do talk a lot about it. Like I said, and through Sarva, we had lots of discussions, and we've had such positive response because we've really reached out to so many people, and so many people logged onto our app just so that they could, or our talks where we had on our app just regarding mental health, and I saw so many people around me, my close friends and family, people who were dealing with it and were struggling at so many levels. But I think talking about it, I think having programs like this are so
important,
and the need of the hour.
Absolutely.
So I would like to say we did, in some way we did contribute to that, so where we were able to, I learned a lot in the process.
And when you hear other people's stories, you tend to learn a lot from them.
And you tend to understand. To be very honest, in the beginning when I heard some of my friends asking me every single day, how are you holding up? How are you holding up? And I'm like, why are they asking me the same thing? You cannot ask me every day. How am I holding up? I mean, I'm holding up fine. It's not like I'm crumbling. I'm doing good. In fact, I have to say, during the pandemic was a very constructive and a very good time in terms of, just for me, as a person. I felt I just could, I think I connected with myself a lot more. So I couldn't understand why is everybody asking me, how are you holding up? I didn't quite realize that there is a whole section of people out there that were dealing with far more intense issues. I didn't realize that. It took me some time to realize when I started talking to people, when I started addressing it, when I was part of some of these, talks and conferences. So eventually I understood it. Eventually it became something that was a little more apparent to me, and I just hope the world heals. That's it.
Yeah,
I just hope.
You have been a healer to many, knowingly, unknowingly. It's a fact, and I'm saying because I have been one of those lives that you've touched. It's a fact.
I don't know about that.
Whenever there's a problem, I genuinely tell you about it.
You always tell me. You always say this is happening, that is happening.
And on that note, we'll move on to our next segment where we have a very special surprise. Something that I can promise you that आपको किसी इंटरव्यू में किसी ने सरप्राइज इतना अच्छा नहीं दिया होगा.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, surprises make me very nervous.
No, it's a very nice surprise. You will love it. So we are back with Malaika for our next segment. Limelight Lab Grown Diamonds presents I Am She. So this is a segment where we discuss prolific women from all around the world who have done something, who've been strong voices. So there are 7 questions. You have to get 5 of them correct. And I'm going to give you...
As in I have to... It's a rapid thing.
Yeah, it's quick. And
you give me choices?
No.
No choices. Okay.
Easy है, बहुत ही easy है, ठीक है? तो 5 correct हो गए तो you will get a शानदार gift. Okay? As shiny as this.
Okay. Shandar gift, guys. Remember, it's a Shandar gift.
It is. First question. Because Farah Khan is your friend and we love Farah Khan. Name any 3 films directed by Farah.
Peacemark Khan, Happy New Year, Om Shanti Om.
Yes, done. Okay. Name any 2 female fitness instructors or body transformers in Bollywood.
Yasmin Karachiwala, Namrata Purohit.
Done. Which 2 actresses made their debut with 2 different films that clashed on November 9th, 2007, which is 14 years ago?
One was Deepika. And
fashionably.
There was Deepika, I remember. What was the other film? It was Sonam's film? Really?
Yeah. Who's the first female Prime Minister of India?
Indira Gandhi.
Yes, chalo. Indira Gandhi is the right answer. Name any 2 actors who are associated with any kind of environment-friendly issues or sustainability as a choice.
Diya Mirza and Priyanka.
Yeah, Priyanka is also. So both of them. Name any 3 popular female dance numbers.
Chikni Chameli, Milli, and Kala Chashma.
Kala Chashma. Chalo, done. So you get the gift.
I was okay.
So now gift pesh kiya jaye. So.
Oh my God! They're diamonds.
Malla, there is a diamond ring from Limelight Lab Grown Diamonds. And let me also tell you the speciality of this diamond. The reason why we have partnered with Limelight is because they are not mined but they're absolutely real. They're made in a lab. They're environment friendly, so you don't waste, mining.
They're not blood diamonds.
Yeah,
basically.
they're not blood diamonds at all. You have no lives lost. It's made in a lab. No water loss. वो land
No
का
carbon,
कुछ नहीं करते, कुछ भी
nothing.
नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं.
Nothing.
It's a homegrown technology, only made in India, and I think you deserve it because मुझे मिल रहा है पहनाने का
Are you going to be
मौका.
slipping this ring onto my hand?
Yeah,
Onto my finger?
as a brother, I can do that. See?
Oh,
this
how
is,
sweet!
And I really, that is the reason I want. ये थोड़ा सा fitting का करवा लेंगे हम लोग.
Oh, sweet.
But this is an absolutely
Thank
real
you.
diamond.
That's pretty. That's very pretty. Thank you.
I love you the most, and you know it, and it's amazing. Yay! But did you ever hear about sustainable jewelry before this? Do you own anything?
Not really. I mean, I don't really own any sustainable jewelry. I'm sure now there are a lot of people who are actively wanting to make sure that they have sustainable. I mean, clothing you already have. You've got all sorts of fashion accessories that are sustainable. But I honestly didn't know about jewelry, so this is definitely the first.
But you have it now.
Now I know it.
And that's what matters. But was there any point where you felt like you needed to do this?
Yes, I did. I felt I went through my personal struggles. I went through separation. I went through having to deal with family pressures. I went through having to deal with how would my child cope with it? How would I cope with it? How would society be? How those are normal, natural. Will I be able to work? Will I be able to be just myself? All of that. So I had that was all these thoughts went through my head. And I think that probably for me was my lowest in life. I would definitely say that was because it was such a huge upheaval in my life and such a change for me to deal with, because it was not just me personally. There was family involved, there was my kid involved, there was just so many other aspects involved, and they're not just anything. They were all because a decision could impact so many other lives. So the decision I had to make had to be a decision that I was clear about. I was firm about. I had thought about it. So I couldn't be wavered about it. I couldn't be like, oh, today I wake up feeling like this, tomorrow I wake up feeling. I can't be that, because like I said, my decision was going to impact
everybody else,
all the lives around me. And when I say mine, as in at the end of the day, we were two people. It is a couple. We are husband and wife, and we together decided that this was what was best. But yes, it was definitely the most difficult, the most like I said, the lowest phase in my life, where I probably did turn to a lot of aspects in terms like yoga, meditation. I turned to all of it because I felt these were outlets that would help me channelize better, that would help me sort whatever upheaval that I was dealing with internally, personally. And I have to say, yoga was a blessing.
Healer.
Was really a blessing. Was really a blessing.
Like I'm going back to what I said, that you're very guarded with your emotions. People will know if you're happy. People will never know if you're upset or you're angry. I've never seen you angry, to be very honest.
I've got a temper.
No, but I think it takes a lot to push you to that and trigger you to that extent. My point is, when you are going through those emotional lows because of you being guarded, do you feel also in India especially, the conditioning is such that women are often judged more in any kind of social circumstances?
Yeah.
Because you were even more guarded about what your internal feelings were at that point. Do you feel that there was a lot of judgment also that you had to deal with along with what you just said?
Of course there was. I mean, and I always say a woman, when she takes a step in a certain direction, it is not just for herself.
Yeah.
It's for many other women out there.
Yeah.
So even if I was taking a certain step, there were a lot of women out there who probably would have wanted to take but could never do that. But if I was doing it, there were a lot of women who would probably be inspired by my one decision or my step, so that they could probably, be able to have a voice themselves. So it's I always say that, your one step will
change.
will change,
And help people make the choices they want to.
Whatever. I mean, basically give them a voice, or be able to say, you know what, if she can, then maybe
you can.
Maybe I can.
That's
I mean,
it's
not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing. People will judge you for People will judge you for wearing the shiny jacket.
Exactly.
So I mean, making choices, of any kind, you're going to be judged irrespective. And I was ready for that. I mean, I was totally ready for being judged, and or everybody having an opinion about it. But also, having said that, everything takes time. There is a process. I mean, to date, I am still, the one thing I can never understand is a woman's age. What is the obsession with a woman's age? I mean, what is it? I mean, at 45, why can't I live the life that I want? And like I say, in my present, I feel I am my most productive, my most alert, my most wanting to strive. I probably didn't feel like this
when you were
20 years back, 25 years back. I didn't. I was still all over the place. I was still figuring out. I was still happy that, hey, I was, getting a check, because I was, so today I feel so much more sorted. I feel so much more, able to empower myself and others around me. So I don't understand this obsession about age, like I said, at 45, why? Why can't I? Why can't I be able to conquer everything and do everything that I want to do? So yes, that time it was tough, but like I said, with time and with dealing with things in a certain way, with a certain self-respect, with certain dignity, with certain understanding, I think eventually you kind of pass all those hurdles. And yes, it was tough initially, but now I can sit down and say, you know what? Whatever decisions were made, whatever this was all made for the best, no regrets, and I'm in a happier, better, more relaxed, sorted space. So, and for the good of everybody else around me.
Absolutely.
That is also what is very important.
When we talk about sexism doesn't only lie in the social judgment of it. Like you brought it up, age shaming is a reality because nobody addresses it to the level of maybe a body shaming or any other kind of shaming that happens in society anyway. It often gets overlooked. In your case, it has been there for the longest time, and I know for a fact, let me just also put it out, that people do get your age wrong on every birthday. Does it anger you
No. Does it anger me? It just makes me realize that you're not doing your homework. That's it.
I remember 4 years ago we had the same conversation.
What does one do? I mean, I can't do anything about it anymore. I've tried to say it.
Yeah.
But clearly there is a thing in people's head that I'm probably hiding my age when I've never ever done it. I've been the most. I wear my age on my sleeve. I wear all. I do not hide it. I don't feel the need. I'm very proud of the fact because I feel I'm able to, And I think if I can look a certain way, if I can be a certain way, if I can achieve
a certain way,
at a certain way, at a certain age, why not?
Absolutely.
Why not? I mean, I'm very proud of it. I'm a proud 46-year-old woman who is living life on her terms and loving it and enjoying it.
But what do you have to say about the age shaming? Do you feel that? Have you noticed that it happens only with women? Mostly, majorly.
It only happens with women. You don't see any of this happen with men. You never ever see ageism, sexism. It's more, always towards. I mean, a woman getting divorced is always like, oh my God, how can she? A woman having a relationship, oh, how can she? A woman at a certain age working and dressing at a certain way, oh, how can she? So it's all, it's just a bit bizarre. Why is it only relegated to women and not men?
Yeah.
That needs to change. I deal with it on a daily basis. A earlier it used to kind of bother me, but now,
Not just.
no, I just take it in my stride. It's like I said, I'm a very proud 46-year-old woman.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, world over, look at the women, some of the most successful women
Yeah.
world over are all 45 and above. And,
Absolutely.
And ruling the world and, wearing it on their sleeve. Kids, family, work, success stories, career. So,
Yeah. What?
I don't understand why are we here. It's such a why that mindset.
I think it's
needs
the
to change.
conditioning.
Yeah, it is. Actually, at the end of the day, it is conditioning. Women from as kids. As from birth, as kids, that you're told that women are only meant to produce babies, take care of their homes, take care of their husband, bring up their kids. Anything else is not perceived as right.
Yeah.
So hopefully, with time, I'm hoping
Slow changes.
these mindsets change, and like you said, it's conditioning, and that has to happen at grassroots.
Absolutely. But when we talk about that, Malla, you dress a certain way and you look amazing. When you do, like you brought it up, that people expect somebody to dress a certain way. It is a fact. Like when I wear this, I know there'll be 5 comments out of those 10 which will be like, "Acha, kya? Why? Why are you wearing this? Why are you wearing that?" Unfortunate as it may sound, my waistline has reduced, so I can't wear men's jeans. I don't get them. Either I have to get it tapered, which is like this, or I have to wear. But I know there are kind of comments that will come like that, and today we are moving towards a gender neutral world and towards a progressive world. I think world around is progressive. Only that progression needs to reach India and like completely spread. How many times have you been told, why are you wearing this? Why are you behaving like this? Why do you talk like this? Like the why of basically how you are.
Of course, that happens all the time. All the time. Like I said, a woman is always judged by the length of her skirt or the plunge of her neckline. So hemlines and necklines, are make all the choice. Make all those comments and decisions at the end of the day. So I cannot live my life according to what people
Absolutely.
have to say about my hemline or my neckline. Even dressing is a very personal choice.
Yeah.
What you may think is, you may think a certain way may not be for me or somebody. I cannot dictate it to
Anybody.
everybody and everybody. My personal choices should be my personal choices, and vice versa. So I cannot sit in judgment and say, why you dressing a certain way, why he's dressing or why she's dressing. If I feel comfortable, as long as, and at the end of the day, I'm not silly and stupid. I know what looks good on me. I know what doesn't. Tomorrow, if I feel it's a tad bit too much, I'm not going to. But again, that is my choice.
Absolutely.
Not you, not her, not she, not him. Nobody has
the
right to
tell you
tell
what
me
to
that.
do, what
It's my choice, and if I'm comfortable with my skin, with my body, with my age, then so be it. You have to fall in line. As simple as that.
But cyberbullying and trolling is something that has become like I don't know, it's become
It's
rampant.
toxic. It's so
It's
toxic.
toxic
It's
and
just not
rampant.
good.
Today only I tweeted saying like to Twitter, and Twitter is the most toxic of them all. And I was like, how come you don't see, being such a big company, how come you're normalizing trolls? Because they are unidentified profiles. Everything is linked to our Aadhaar today. Why can't our social media profiles also be linked to something which gives a basis?
There is some sort of
semblance, basically. How do you deal with trolls on a daily basis? Are there days, because everybody has different emotions on different days? Are there days when you get triggered?
No, it's very sad to see to see kids, to see the youth, the younger generation. They're so badly affected by it.
Yeah.
It really messes kids' heads up. I know a lot of kids, and in the sense, a lot of discussions that come up where children, some of them, they don't want to, even get onto social media because of stuff that they've read. Some of them don't feel comfortable even wanting to interact with people. Some of them don't want to get out of their rooms. So you can clearly see it is creating chaos. It's toxic, and one needs to stop that. There needs to be, like you said, something like a Twitter, which is such a major platform
Yeah.
in and has such a major say, if they are not able to find some sort of a filtration process for stuff like this, and it's a bit scary because
Yeah.
it's only going to get worse unless somebody
Stops
in
it.
and
Yeah.
says there's got to be some sort of a filtration with where trolls etc. are concerned. I don't know when, like you said. I mean, if your people are going to come out and say these things,
I hope.
I mean, hopefully that will really help. I mean, my whole thing was, you know what, it's a nameless, faceless person, so I'm not going to bother about. But I can do that at 46 today, where I feel a lot more calmer, stable. I can turn around and say that. But I can't speak for everybody else. There's a whole entire generation that's dealing with it,
Yeah.
and they're not dealing with it well. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I said, it's really messing them up. So
True.
I think the faster the better.
But thank you, Malla.
Thank
I
you.
will always.
I hope it was a nice
it was a
chat. I hope
lovely
it
chat.
was a freewheeling chat, and there was enough said and enough spoken.
And I just feel that there is so much love that you give out, and there's so much positivity that you exude. And I will go back to what I started saying, that you don't even know sometimes that you touch so many lives. Actually, without knowing it, you touch a million lives, one being mine. And I hope that there are very few people who can bridge that gap and that make that relationship with a media person and an actor, whatever. They say that it's not possible. But when I talk to you about my problems, I genuinely know that I have a friend listening and telling me what I should do and what could be right for me. Thank you for being there. And
My pleasure.
It was lovely having you on Her Story. Her Story would never be complete without you. And I always say this, that if you can, if she can, you can too.
Now you're making me all teary-eyed. You know, I'm very emotional like that. I get really emotional. But that's sweet, and I wish you all the very best
Thank you.
in whatever you want to do, wherever you want to be. Life is your...
Just be there with me, that's it, wherever I go.